Hello, all you beautiful stars. Thank you for joining us. Today, I have Mary Jo. Welcome, Mary Jo. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, Mary Jo, for you guys that don't know, will be at that huge event I keep talking about. Come, come, come. The Natural New Earth Market. Woo, 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 out of my mouth. Natural New Earth Market in Ringgold, Georgia. September 9th through the 11th. Mary is actually going to be one of the readers there. And
Yes.
ladies and gentlemen, I've received a reading from Mary before, and you all know I do readings, so I know if somebody else is good. and I keep saying it, and I don't know if people are really believing me. I choose who I really kind of let in the door to work at this event, and Mary she knows her stuff. Mary, I don't know if you remember, you were also, I was in your second Reiki 2 class. The first time you were teaching Reiki 2, I was in that class.
Yes.
Yeah. So guys, yeah, she's legit. I've learned from her. I've gotten a reading from her. A reading at a very important time in my life I received from her. So she is legit, guys. Come on down. It's right under Chattanooga, Tennessee. Great time to visit the South before it gets cold in the North. Come visit the South and get the last little bit of sunshine.
Yeah. And all that humidity.
Yeah. Whew, yeah. So Mary Jo, I do want to say, are you on the staff at the Infinite Light Center in Knoxville, Tennessee?
Yes, I'm one of the founding members.
Oh, I guess
There were three. There were three of us who formed it, and one of those has stepped away, but we have had someone to come in, so there are still three of us.
Excellent. Okay, there should be three. Yeah, definitely. Oh, wow, I didn't know that. I thought I'm learning something all the time. The Infinite Light Center, I will put a link below, ladies and gentlemen. Check it out. They have classes. They have all sorts of stuff that happen there. Mary Jo, will you tell the audience here a little bit of your backstory? Because I do find it's an interesting, good backstory.
Oh. Well, growing up in Georgia, I was the youngest of three. So when my brother and sister went off to school, I developed my imaginary friends. And so everybody thought it was cute and funny, you know, and they sort of went along with me for a little while. But as you get older, it's not cute and funny anymore, you know. So they never went away from me. I just didn't talk about them anymore. But I went through the getting married and having the children and having my family, and actually late 40s, you know, I moved from Georgia, where I had lived my whole life, to Tennessee. My mother was from Strawberry Plains, so I would visit every summer with my grandparents. And my cousin, who still lived there, she's like, come on up, you can live with us, I'll get you a job, don't worry about it.
Right.
And my plan was to be here about 6 months, and that was 20 years ago.
20 years ago.
But I can remember having a reading from Teresa Richardson, one of the other members of the Infinite Light Center. And she said, you know, as much as you don't want to be here, this is exactly where you're supposed to be. And I looked at her and I said, you need to reshuffle those cards, because there is nothing right about that. And she just looked at me and she said, but it is. And it is so true. I mean, the energy in the mountains.
Oh,
yeah. we're truly blessed. Even if you don't know what that energy is, or what it's about, or what it can do for you, you still feel it. You have to be aware of it.
Oh yeah.
So again, I've been here 20 years, and I'm really proud of the work the center has done to help grow the community.
Yeah. And
we find with the different events that we have and classes and everything, there are more and more people who are finding us, and they're asking the questions, and oh, this is what happened, and what does that mean, and what I do. So it is really nice to be able to say, well, this is what I experienced.
Well,
And try to.
can I ask my question that I ask everybody? Because I am curious that you said that you had, you kind of had a reading in your 40s. Mary, what is your personal definition of awakening?
I like to know what words mean. So when you look at the word awakening, it says it's a revival of interest or attraction.
Oh,
It's a recognition, a realization of coming into an awareness of something. So when we're all born, we come in with knowing so much. It's just in that infant stage, you have to learn to walk again and talk again and do all those things. But it's like everything else. It happens when it's supposed to happen. So for some, it might be like you're startled out of a deep sleep. It's kind of like, oh, you better wake up. But it's that re-engaging, if you will. Oh, I know something about that. So it's not all completely brand new that you've got to learn.
I love that, a re-engaging, like a remembering and a re-engaging.
Oh
And even
yeah,
if you don't fully remember, it's that kind of
it's
pull.
familiar.
It's familiar, that this feels comfortable, this resonates. I love that. So are you, like, at the center, you're saying you're getting kind of more of an influx of people asking questions, coming to you ladies, coming, wondering, curious about
Yes,
stuff.
and it's always fun. They're like, you're not going to believe this, and I'm like, honey, you just don't know who you're talking to, but go ahead, try me. It's it's a safe place for them to come,
Okay.
and to not feel like they're odd or they're different or they're crazy.
Right.
We get that crazy look a lot sometimes,
Yeah.
but it's like, it's okay. These things happen, and it's you really just allowing that, not being afraid of it, not questioning it's more just, oh, that's what that is.
Oh,
you
cool.
know
Yeah. Yeah.
we learn with the clairs. It's what you don't know how, you just know.
I really love that you said that, because I guess I never really thought about, but you're right, that actually more learning kind of happens easier and gentler and more so with just going with the flow and saying, oh yeah, okay, that happened. And
Yeah,
just, going with it instead of going against it, or
yeah,
trying to solve it,
yeah.
sometimes.
It's that you don't have to figure it out.
Yeah.
Like in algebra, you had to know that formula, you had to remember all these things. This is more just the allowing.
Mm.
Just let it be, and don't push against it. You might have to sit with it for a little bit, but that's okay too, because when we sit and we're quiet, that's when we can really listen
Yeah.
to what we're getting. And my guides get really, they're like, she's still, she's quiet, let's go. It's kind of like, if she's not
Russian,
moving,
let's go.
we don't have a chance. But when I get still and I get quiet, that's the time to really listen.
Oh, that's lovely. Mary Jo, we were talking backstage a little bit about, and you said you made that big move to Tennessee from Georgia, and you've been there for so long now. We were talking backstage, especially for women, and I mean, men, you're a part of this too. It takes all of us, but the more of the awakening process that might happen later, like maybe we have a little inklings here and there, but we got to push. We just kind of, especially women, if we get married, we
Yeah.
start raising those kids, we start soccer games, whatever, all of the
Oh, yeah.
busyness, all of the busyness that, I don't know, is kind of a blocker, I should say, of taking that quiet time. How did that kind of play out in your life and lead to?
Well, when I moved up here, I was single, and so it's having that job, but you know, we're my generation, we're ready, you're busy, you need to be doing something, you know.
Oh,
So as we do get older and we don't have those pressures of, you know, getting supper ready and getting kids to practice and all that kind of thing, there is more time for yourself.
mhm.
And but it's also that realizing that's not a bad thing. You know, it's okay to take 10, 15, 20 minutes for yourself, whether you go for a walk or you shut the door and light a candle, whatever it is that just helps you sort of be able to take that deep breath and say, I'm okay.
Yeah. How long did it take you, I, I guess, to be comfortable with that, like giving yourself permission?
Oh, wow. Even after I took my first Reiki class, and that first 30 days, you know, is so important that you practice on yourself. And I'm like, when am I going to do that? You know, well, you just get up 30 minutes earlier,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know.
Commitment to yourself.
It is. And
Yeah.
and that's giving yourself permission to try something new. You know, you don't know if it's going to fit or if it's going to work unless you give it a try.
Yeah.
So that I will say those 30 days after my Reiki 1 class, what really sort of, I guess you could say, opened the door. It's like, it's okay for you to do this. You know, you're not gonna go up in a puff of smoke or, you know, anything like that. But it's also very personal. You know, that we do know those people, and they want you to know exactly what they're doing and how they're doing it and when they're doing it. But this is it's sort of
Yeah.
private.
Yeah.
And so, you know, it's like what you do for yourself, that's your business. But the beautiful part of it is the difference people start seeing in you.
Yes.
You know, what's going on with Mary Jo? Something's different. You know, she get her hair cut. You know, what is it? You know,
Yeah.
they just know something's different.
Yes. That's beautiful. I actually, there's been kind of talk in this house, especially with my husband and I, about those people who want to tell you everything that they're doing. And I just did a whole bunch of service over here, or I'm doing this or doing that. And my husband last night very plainly and simply said, you know, those who are really doing it, they don't talk about it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Um, this question might be completely off topic, but you actually said it. Your generation, it is fascinating to me how the boomers, because I know you're a boomer, and love generation some, that cusp in there,
Yeah.
um, they don't stop. I don't know where that came from.
Mm-mm.
And every time I ask one, I go, I'll make a comment like, geez, lady, or geez, buddy, you don't stop. Like, I'll just make a general observation. I have to say, Mary, most of the time their reply is, you know, 9 out of 10 times, well, if you stop, you die. And it's like, whoa, where did you learn that? Where did
Yes.
where did that come from?
Well, I think about my grandmothers,
Yeah.
you know, and whenever we would go, I mean, they never sat down. Always the last one to sit down to eat.
Yeah.
They've been cooking all day long, you know, being sure their company, you know, was taken care of. So
Mhm.
it's like you just need to be busy because in their day there was so much to be done.
Yeah.
You know, there was the house, there was the farm, there was, you know, the
Yeah.
kids, and so
I
but that was their job. With me, I worked a full-time job,
Yeah.
and I had 2 children and a husband,
Yeah, that's enough
and
work.
all those activities that go along. So, you know, you do what you can when you can.
Yeah. And it just seems because, and I, so most of them say that stuff. So I'm thinking, is it because you saw your parents when they finally just stopped? They did kind of pass then shortly after, or whatever it may be. I'm happy for all of those that are listening out there from that generation, because I will tell you, the generations underneath you, we work hard, some of us, and but we don't do it the way you guys do it. Like my mother, she won't stop. She could work 3 jobs growing up when I was growing up if she needed to, because she thought it was,
Yeah, that's what
she
she
just
had
kept
to
going.
do.
Yeah, she just kept going. And even today, I mean, it's like I'll call her up. What are you doing? Oh, I'm painting the kitchen. What? Like,
Yeah, but
and I think you're emphasizing though you could take all that, harness that energy, because I believe there's a lot more people of your generation also waking up.
definitely.
Yeah, and I think you can harness what came from that generation of work ethic, of, I mean, always busy, into what you're saying, into then get busy and learning and loving yourself.
Yeah. And again, don't feel guilty about doing it. It's really now it's necessary for the self-care.
Yeah, definitely.
Take that bubble bath, take a walk, take a nap, something for you. As I often say, if you don't recharge that cell phone, you're not talking, you're not texting, you're not making pictures. So you have to do the same thing for yourself. You've got to recharge your battery
Mm,
so you can continue on doing the things that you enjoy doing.
yeah, I love that. I love that. I think that is apropos to all generations and people. Um, you you're using the word allow and giving yourself permission, and that self-care, and I love that. Do you feel when somebody first wakes up, is there like a time period of like self-judgment? Because I perceived it. I kind of went through it. Self-judgment as in, geez, why did I waste so much time? Why am I just learning this now? And you did say, timing is everything, and we kind of talked about the busyness.
Yes.
How did you go through that kind of like a self-judgment phase?
I think I've always been harder on me than anybody else,
Yeah.
but I would say yes. And it's not so much of why did I waste so much time, but I think it's more of a what do I do with it now?
Okay.
If you didn't know or you weren't aware, then you really couldn't be doing anything with it or about it.
Yeah.
But once you get that little nudge, that little push, and you do start waking up, or you're thinking about things differently, it's like, oh, that's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay to have a different opinion from somebody else. It's okay to think, sort of go all the way around a topic instead of just accepting what parents and school and religion taught us. It's really learning to think for yourself. How does that feel to you now?
Oh, I love, excellent question, ladies and gentlemen. How does that feel to you now? That's a wonderful question, because also we're going to change our thoughts and opinions. The more we learn, the more we grow.
We
All the
should.
experience, we
We
should, right?
should. We
Yeah, we
should.
should. And I love that idea when you said go all the way around. Just go all the way around the theory, the thought, the
Yeah.
discussions, what have you, to really embrace all sides, all this,
Yeah.
find out what
It's
is
that
yours.
litmus test, well, this is how you felt about it in your 20s,
Oh,
but you're not 20 anymore. So how does it feel now? How is it different? That you can sort of take a step back or to the side and maybe get a different perspective on it.
this is, I do have to say this, when this show airs, hello everyone. I do believe these are very wise words right now for the energy that is being presented in August. So ask yourself repeatedly, as Mary has now spoke so beautifully, how do I feel now? That's lovely. I think I might do that every day. Like every day in August, I might ask myself, because I
Yeah,
do, yeah, I think during this grand awakening that we're in, I think we're in this time period that even those who've been in it, like Mary, you've been in this for a while. Myself, I've been in this for a while. Our thoughts and opinions might even change. There's such shifting going on. There's such this and that, and to love ourselves through it. Yeah,
yeah. I mean, things are going to change,
yeah,
but we have that choice of, are we going to hold on to it and oh, that's the way it was and it has to be
mm,
right, or are we going to say, okay, let's just see where it takes us, let's see what happens, and not really allow it to have such a detrimental effect on us
yeah.
as it happens.
You're with allowing, do you feel that if we give ourselves more permission, allowing ourselves to what have you, when we start doing that and practicing that, does it open the door to also seeing others, like allowing others to just be who they are, allow others
Definitely. Yeah.
to,
You
okay,
know, it's that, this is right and this is wrong, and that's what you go with. But now it's more about, if you want to stand on the corner and scream and yell and do your thing, I'm just going to wave at you,
yeah,
because for some reason you feel led to do that. As long as you're not harming anyone else, then if that's your way to express yourself, then do that.
do that.
And
That's
and
that's
it's
wonderful.
the allowing others to be who they are, but also about accepting them in
Yeah,
that way.
yeah.
No,
That's I think the big key too. The
no
allowing,
judgment.
acceptance, yeah, the non-judgment. I For me personally, I will say in August, my three biggest last pushes, I guess, of my development that I know is happening right now is to not just practice being in the now. I can practice that as a lot, but I'm attaching to the now with ease,
Yes.
because I can be in the now a lot and be crazy. But I'm doing now, I'm attaching ease to the now, and also releasing judgment of myself and others with love. And I've been working on that for so long. And August, I believe, is my apex of I'm truly going to practice all of what I have been thinking I've been practicing. Now it'll be in full effect.
There
So
you go.
yeah, now it'll be in full effect of releasing judgment of myself and others in love. And I think that's such key. You said, in accepting them for who they are
Hmm.
and where they are in their journey.
Yeah. Everybody starts the race sort of at the starting line, but they certainly don't all finish at the same time.
Mm,
So you go at your own pace, and you might have to take a detour, you might have to take a slow down. But, as long as you're moving forward at your pace,
mhm.
and there's nobody to keep up with,
Yeah,
it's your journey.
right.
So it is about you do it your way.
Excellent. I actually, that brings up another question that I was thinking about. You said, when you first woke up, you allowed yourself for that time with you and to practice with the Reiki. Did you kind of already understand the balance? Because there's like two ways that I think people usually do it, in my opinion. Either we jump full force and like, I'm going to learn everything and I'm going to take everything in and or we're very timid and it's like, oh, I'm going to just tap my toe in, just tap my toe in. Or I guess some have just perfect balance at the beginning, but I have yet to really see it.
I would say I was a little more, let me just see what it is, because I had no idea what Reiki was at all.
Right.
But when you're bringing something that new and different into your life, and as they say, we don't master Reiki masters us,
Yeah.
if we will allow it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So no, I didn't jump right in and say, oh, let me learn everything today. Well, that's really sort of an unacceptable expectation. You can't,
Right.
you know, but it is perhaps better to go slowly, see how that feels, and everything's not going to resonate with you.
Right.
You know, that's another thing. It may catch your eye and you may say, oh, I want to learn about that, and that's great. But at the same time, you don't have to push yourself like in that structured, you got to take this class and algebra and chemistry and all that.
Right.
It's more about, if it doesn't feel good, if you're really pushing against it, then let it go and
Sure.
look at something else.
I actually just kind of had a conversation with somebody yesterday that I do believe in somewhat of this spiritual movement. So many of us are gifted in certain ways, or, in various ways. And we tend to very much love all of the different facets, from tarot cards to crystals to this to
Yes.
all of it, the herbs, the medicine. And for me personally, I think it's an appreciation. But I know of a lot of people that they love all of it to the extent that they don't know where to focus really, and they're not absorbing anything in that, like how you said Reiki makes you, masters you.
Yeah.
There ends up being a disconnect with really absorbing something, really digesting something and learning it, because we tend to, including myself, including most people, we love it all so much that we want to study this, we want to study that, we want to study this. So what do you provide? Because I would say, and maybe out of your experience, I see that more than not. I love all these things and I want to do all this. How is that okay? Or am I viewing it maybe, because I view it as, let's focus on one and kind of learn a lot about that and then move out? Or dabbling in everything is okay? I'm not sure.
Again, I think it's, what are you comfortable with? I think we all get so busy and it's so exciting, and we do want to learn, that we're like, we got all these plates that we're juggling, we got to do a little bit of this. So maybe that gets a little bit too hectic. So we aren't really getting a benefit from it.
Right.
So if you go from having 20 things that you're trying to juggle down to maybe 3 or 4, and spend a little bit more time with each one and really say, what am I getting a benefit out of this? What am I learning from
There
this?
you go. Yeah.
And it could be, they're all great and wonderful things, just as you said, but it's an appreciation for the herbalist, for the person who can name every crystal on the table, but and that's okay. I don't have to know it all.
Right.
I don't.
Excellent. Excellent. That's wonderful. Thank you. Thank you for, you know what, Mary, I do have to say, by you saying that you don't have to know it all, I have a sense that many are going to now give themselves the permission to not have to know it all as well. And I think that's lovely, because we lose that at some point. Some of us, I should say.
It's things that interest me. I'm going to learn a little bit more about it and then see how that resonates with me, how it sits with me. And then I'll say, oh, well, I'll learn a little bit more.
Right.
I don't have to get a PhD in everything.
Right. Right. Exactly. Well, Mary, it's been lovely talking to you. And ladies and gentlemen, please, if you can get to the Chattanooga, Tennessee area, Ringgold, Georgia is about a 20-minute drive underneath. like straight underneath or Chattanooga. You know, why don't you come down, visit the South? So many people are thinking of moving here in the first place. Come on
Yes,
down, visit
big
first.
migration.
Yes, visit first. Check out Chattanooga. It's a great little city. And I mean, there's stuff here that you would have to go to Japan to see elsewhere. I mean, there's a lot going on here. And then stop in to Ringgold, Georgia, my little cute little town and my little country town, and hang out with Mary here, Mary Jo, and get a reading. The Natural New Earth Market, September 9th through the 11th. It's, guys, it's going to be big. The more, I'm getting very excited, let's say. It's going to be a
Well,
good time.
it's an opportunity. I don't want to say one-stop shopping, but it really is. You get so many different people offering so many different things, you know, from the herbalist. Again, you've got the
Yes.
herbalist and you've got the energy workers, you've got readers. I mean, the wonderful people who make the jewelry,
Yeah.
you know, that's infused with the good energy that you take with you. So it's a great way to spend a day,
It is.
just to come and experience it.
It really is. And I know that you know this because I've kept people informed. It is such a mixed bag, Mary, of different healers. And I mean, I don't know if I've seen a mixed bag like this before. And so it's just growing and growing into this most beautiful, diverse community that will be there to serve the public. And it's, I mean, my excitement is very, very strong. It might not come out well here, but I'm so excited. This is going to be amazing.
Well, and once someone experiences that type of energy, you're going to want it every day.
Yep.
It's like,
Yeah.
how do I get this in my house? You know,
Yes. Yes.
but it's very calming. It's very soothing. It's like just a big hug,
Yeah.
because that's what that energy feels like.
Yeah. And that's
It
what
is.
this is all about. And
Yes.
I did the tagline of teamwork to usher in the new earth. And that's what it's
And
all
yes,
about.
yeah,
Giving the world a big hug, embracing them and saying, you can do this too.
yes.
Yeah.
And as someone once said, there's no I in teamwork.
Exactly. Exactly.
Takes all of us.
It takes all of us. So thank you, Mary, for joining us.
Thank you for
And
having me. I enjoyed it. Look forward to seeing you in September.
yes, ma'am. And to all of you beautiful stars, share, like, subscribe. Thank you for listening, and I will see you again. Namaste.
Namaste.